Okay, worm tea, making basics. We got ourselves a bin with some rainwater. I wish I would have collected a little bit more or let some sit out, but we've got about 3 gallons here. It'll do for a smaller batch. So that's what we got. We've also got our worm castings. I put about 4 cups into this bowl, and then I've transferred about half of it into a nylon to make a tea bag. But I want, ooh, nylon hand. I wanted you to see what it looks like. It's super dark, super moist, nutrient dense. I found another worm or two, so I'm sifting through to make sure we've got all of them out of there and back into the worm bin. We've also got some unsulfured molasses. We're going to use about 2 tablespoons for this batch. And a very fancy piece of brick from our pavers to hold down this lovely giant amount of tubing for our air pump, which I got from PetSmart actually for only $15, so super reasonable. We've also got a couple clothespins. You'll see those in a second, I believe. And now I'm going to put it all together so you can see what it looks like. Here we go. Excuse me, giant amount of tubing in there. Tea bags floating in there, attached with a clothespin. And the tubing is being held down by that, again, super fancy brick that I'm attempting to show you in this murky water. Now we are going to, oh, and my tea bags fell. I'll show you how I retouch them in a second. But as the saying goes, so is molasses. We are pouring in about 2 tablespoons of unsulfured molasses here. And this is going to feed all the microbes and get the tea really brewing and multiply the richness and the goodness that we've got from that worm tea into this batch of water so we can use it more readily. Still pouring. There we go. Cool. And now with another clothespin that I just got from the dollar store, again, crazy high tech around here, I'm going to attach it to the edge. And this is just so it doesn't go, you know, whipping around with all that airflow going on there. So attaching it there, putting on the lid. You can use any sort of tote. I just happen to have this lying around, but this is perfect because you can open up just that little hatch right there. So I'll show you what it looks like with this pump on, that pump right there. Okay, pump action, plugged in on my back porch. Bubbles happening, even with that brick weighing it down. Awesome. So I'm gonna let this sit for the day / Hey guys, so we've got that worm tea steeping and bubbling away. I'm going to let it go for about 24 hours and show you what it looks like after. It should be nice and frothy, and those microbes should be multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. And once it's at the right point, which I'll show you what it looks like, we can dilute it up to 5:1 with water and water our gardens with it. So I'll just put it in a watering can. I'll show you what it looks like. If you have any questions about worm tea or worm castings or what the heck worm tea is, I do have a video on it. I will link it in the description box below. Alrighty guys, we've got some worm tea action and some olive action. Olive. It's been steeping for about 24 hours, and now we can water our gardens with it. I'm going to dilute it 5:1 as far as ratios, 1 being the worm tea and 5 being water, and we can get it on everywhere. And here we are watering some thyme I just planted by our beehive because it keeps mites away. Keep in mind, if you don't have rainwater collected, you can always use water from your tap. You just need to let it sit in the sun so the chlorine burns out. But this batch, after it was diluted, I was able to water all of my vegetables plus these beautiful lilacs and the rest of my garden. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful. Have a wonderful day.